at least in my opinion, go for the ones that are being used more now. Think about it. Uniswap, I think, will be more relevant than the other AMMs and the other DEXs that are not in the top of its field. Even tokens that are not even done yet. In the same way, I think coins that are connected to blockchain projects will be relatively better off as compared to tokens of projects that are built on those particular blockchains. I've been getting questions of, if you want stability and safety, would it be better to store what you have in either stablecoin or Bitcoin versus fiat as a space where to park it given the current conditions right now? I think when everything is said and done, not a lot of altcoins that gone up in the previous run will go back to where they were before. You've even noticed it from the previous coins and tokens that were in the top 10. They're not the ones that are in the top 10 also right now. So how much more the ones in the bottoms? Is it okay also pivot your altcoins and move it into other altcoins as well? I think it's okay, especially if the altcoin that you have may not have a brighter future as compared to the larger ones and the bigger ones. And at least in my opinion, go for the ones that are being used more now. Think about it. Uniswap, I think, will be more relevant than the other AMMs and the other DEXs that are not in the top of its field. Even tokens that are not even done yet. In the same way, I think coins that are connected to blockchain projects will be relatively better off as compared to tokens of projects that are built on those particular blockchains. Primarily because all of those coins inside those blockchains, they have a larger amount of funding. There are a lot of highly dedicated, serious people working on it. It's easier to give up on a token, especially if there's not a lot of capital outlay yet as compared to a blockchain which is being developed for years and years and years and years to come. A tip there also would be, the more decentralized the blockchain is, I think the better it would be, similar to what we've seen right now. The ones that were VC-backed, the ones that were highly centralized, were the ones that were immensely hit also. Case in point, Solana. Now to the question of stables, Bitcoin, or fiat, that's something very hard to answer because all of those things have their underlying concerns as well. For Bitcoin though, it's volatile, but the technology is sound. I think there's just a lot of fun in terms of how governments will adapt it in respective countries and how will the off-ramps be also over the next few years. All of the talk about proof of work, that it's not as efficient as compared to proof of stake. However, the merit for what Bitcoin is doing, the energy that it's consuming, it's still a fraction of what the entire banking industry consumes. If you are the type of person that you can get past that type of issues, you're okay also with the volatility, and you like the decentralization of Bitcoin, that no one can shut it down, there's no central figure, there's no CEO, then that's what Bitcoin could actually give you. Stablecoins, on the other hand, they are not like Bitcoin because they're not volatile. However, there are centralized institutions that are backing it. But the concerns also being that USDC is back 1:1, Paxos is back, BUSD is back 1:1 with USDT, which a lot of people have been saying they're already fully transparent and back 1:1, but there's still a lot of gray area that people are not fully sure of. Let's just put it that way. And it's the largest stablecoin that we have right now. If that collapses, it will bring a lot of distrust in this entire space. The weight of its market cap alone will truly hit a lot of people also. I've seen USDT depeg, but it gets defended very, very well, and just give it a few more minutes, it goes back to $1. So in that degree, they have been very, very good defending it. They have been very, very good in spite of the threat, in spite of your uncertainty and doubt. They have been back. So if you want something that's not as volatile as Bitcoin, but somehow centralized, and may have concerns about the backing of its assets, but you're still okay and you can get past that, USDT or other stablecoins may be a good use already of the assets that you have as well. Third is fiat. It's easy to be able to bring it back. also to crypto should the dust settle, but also you subject yourself to some currency risk depending on what the foreign exchange rate will be now as compared to the time that you also bring it back. But if it gives you somehow the peace of mind that you don't have to look over your shoulder that there might be volatility versus Bitcoin, fiat is the way to go in that regard. However, it takes you out of the entire cryptocurrency space. You're now fully dependent on the traditional finance system that we have. There's no one answer to give you here, but the best thing that you could do is to go with your own comfort level. It's also good to have a mix, that you have a certain allocation still in Bitcoin, you have a certain allocation that's still in stablecoins, and of course, if you're not comfortable with both of them, it's okay also to have it in fiat. Bitcoin is safe, decentralized, secure, could not be shut down, but there are concerns towards it, and it also has volatility. For the stablecoins, it's not volatile, it's centralized. There are concerns in terms of its backing. There would be massive selling if it's something that could be able to hold its ground. And lastly, fiat, it's not volatile. For sure, it's backed 1:1, but it takes you out of this entire cryptocurrency space also. Let me know your thoughts on what you're doing. But I guess I want to say this, that in all of this uncertainty, please, don't decide based on emotion. Study it very well before you decide, before you try to figure out how you want to deploy that capital. It doesn't mean you're gonna play it right. It doesn't mean that it's gonna be the best decision out there. But as long as you decide based on what you've studied, what you know, and what you understand, you could easily go back also still to either fiat or back to crypto should you decide to do so. But as long as you decide based on logic and not emotion, it would be a better long-term decision for you, as long as you're also doing it in connection to whatever your financial goals and whatever your financial plans are in the future as well. We're still far, I think, from how this will all play out. I don't know what will be the extent of the effects of FTX and Alameda in the entire financial space, but that's why we're talking about this, because these are the things that we can't control. We can't control how other markets will react, but we can control how we protect, preserve, and safeguard our capital. So that's it for now. Marvingermo. I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon, and God bless you all.